Okay, so this is just picking up where I left off before. I think I completed 4 or 5 different samples, getting the data. I explained how this test was being conducted. So now finished gathering all the data. So for all 32 samples, we have 100 data points for each sample. Just to recap, that's 20 different data points for each orientation. So there's center, I rotated the part 20 degrees in either direction, offset it in the X direction by 0.5 inches and in the Y direction by 0.5 inches. So it gives you 100 data points for each sample times 32 samples is 3,200 different data points. Up here at the top, we have the original angle, which was given to us by the customer. So yeah, that's how this chart, how to read it. Down here are the statistics. So this is where I've been crunching the numbers. So I'll go through the different rows here with you. So there's max, which is the max of all the different values, regardless of the orientation. So all different 100 data points, that's the maximum number. Minimum number, the range, which is just max minus min. The mean, which is the average of all those numbers, the max minus mean, the min minus mean, and these are absolute values, so they're always going to be positive. So yeah, max minus mean, min minus mean, and these are all in degrees as well. So this is 0.14 degrees, 0.139 degrees. Mean minus actual, that's the actual value that we were given by the customer up here. This just tells you how close we were to what the customer measured the angle to be. So that's 0.09 degrees away. Max minus actual, min minus actual. So this is the same thing as the max minus mean, min minus mean. Again, absolute values, but this time using the actual value. So the tolerance we were looking for is plus or minus 0.3 degrees. This kind of just shows that we are within that range, even for the maximum value we got and the minimum value within that entire range. So we're not even talking averages here. So out of all the 100 data points we have, we were the highest one was 0.23 degrees away, which is within that plus or minus 0.3 degrees. And then we got the standard deviation, the variance, which are of course related to each other, and then 3 sigma, which is just 3 times the standard deviation. And this is really what we're going to be looking at here. 3 sigma, it means that 99.7% of the time your value is going to be between the mean plus or minus this 3 sigma. So we're looking for this 3 sigma to really be under 0.3 degrees, which means 99.7% of the time you're going to be between plus or minus 0.3 degrees. So in this case it's 0.2, which is good, 0.28, good, 0.12, and if you go through here, they're actually every single one of them is going to be under 0.3. And that means that 99.7, or actually even higher than that, percent of the time, the measurements are going to be plus or minus 0.3 degrees accurate. In fact, there was one sample here that I don't know what happened, but customer said it was 90.003 degrees, but the actual readings were quite a bit off of that. I don't know if it got bent after the fact, or maybe in transit here and shipping or something. But all the other angles were very close to the original angle that was posted. Just this one was off by about 0.5 degrees. I just wanted to highlight that one because it kind of threw off some of the data. You can see here the max minus actual, mean minus, or minimum minus actual are way off compared to every other one. So I kind of just threw this sample point out because obviously the camera was working really well for all the other samples. It was just this one specific sample wasn't close to the original angle that was measured. The actual data points are close enough together, and the standard deviation of that is consistent with the other ones. It was just the actual measurements we were getting to the original angle were off by about 0.5 degrees, like I said. Not so the case with all the other samples. It was just that one sample. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. So that's really it. Like I said, the 3 sigma is what you're really looking for, and with all these 3,200 different data points for 32 samples, I think it's really telling that the maximum minus actual and the minimum minus actual, not a single data point, not a single measurement was greater than plus or minus 0.3 degrees from the actual measured original angle measured by the customer, other than, of course, this one sample, like I said. So out of 3,100 data points for 31 samples, they were all within the plus or minus 0.3 degrees.